What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We're back in the world of Call of Duty doing a little FFA on Hijacked. I'm still using the Vector with the silencer and the laser scope, just trying to get this weapon golded. And I so hate this weapon. But we're going to go ahead and jump straight into today's topic. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me what I think about the PS4 announcement. You know, I'm going to make a video on it, I'm going to summarize it, etc., etc. I, at least in my personal life, usually tend to just kind of ignore those announcements and such. And a lot of people are like, well, why? Why would you do that? Well, mainly because a lot of those announcements are just so full of hype and bullshit that it's kind of hard to get through the real nitty-gritty or the real core. You know, when these conventions and these announcements and things go down, these publishers and game developers and I guess system developers do their absolute best to make their product look amazing. Now, I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying, you know, you get it looked from the perspective of absolute 100% perfection and not necessarily from reality. You know, it's kind of one of those situations where, like, fishing is so awesome, you know, and then you see somebody on, like, the back of this 100-foot yacht wheeling in, you know, Jaws, the great white, you know, et cetera, et cetera. When in reality, fishing isn't really always like that, you know, and I guess they have a tendency to skew things in that direction, if that makes sense. But since I am on YouTube now, we do have to have some discussions about it. So I will cover some of the features and some of the highlights that I kind of thought were interesting. First off, it does look like it's going to be releasing this year, which I think most of us kind of figured out. They haven't released a price point or an exact date. It's just holiday 2013. The controller basically looks very similar to kind of the leaked controllers that we guys saw recently. It's got the little screen on it, and I don't know, it basically looks like a kind of a wider version of a PlayStation 3 controller. I'm glad they're keeping the general aspect of it, because I do kind of like the PlayStation controllers a little bit better than Xbox. I'm sure my Xbox fans are kind of, oh, no! But I don't know. It's just what I grew up with. I mean, I played with Xbox as well, but Xbox always felt like, you know, that fat, overweight girl that you kind of call sometimes, but, you know, you really like that skinny bitch that, you know, ignores you. That's kind of how I feel about the PlayStation controllers. So they ignore me every time. Some of the cool features, though, at least for a YouTuber, that I thought was kind of cool was the way that they were going to work in, like, the social media, the social networks, the live streaming, the kind of spectating and stuff like that, you know, where you turn gaming into more of a social experience as opposed to something that, you know, you just do by yourself and then you record and then you post up and share with others. And depending on how they do it, and that's always the big question, depending on how it's done and how it interacts with, like, YouTube or Twitch TV or what other streaming platform exists out there, that can be a huge boon for, you know, YouTubers like myself. You know, now I can actually bring... It'll basically be like streaming on my console. And I do believe that's going to be the future. For those of you guys who have followed Black Ops 2's streaming and how it hooked in with Twitch, I do think more and more consoles are going to kind of start embracing that so people can play together. And it'll basically be more like, you know, inviting all your friends over and playing in your room, except with, you know, a few hundred or thousand people. And it really kind of, it kicks out that social platform and really increases the power of the system. So, especially if people can watch when they're, you know, not jacked into the system, you know, like if very similar to like a stream nowadays, except with just a console, then, you know, it's a pretty good advertising platform as well. You know, I don't got a PlayStation, why should I get one? Well, just watch my stream, man, you know, check it out. This is, you know, we're going to be playing, me and Bobby are going to be playing, you know, blah, blah, blah tonight. You should totally watch it. And so, you know, everybody hops over and takes a look, and, you know, it's pretty cool. So those are some of the features that I'm really looking forward to. Some of the bummers is there's not going to be any backwards compatibility yet. I just woke up, so my language is a little lacking. Apparently, they may be working on it. It just seemed a little vague, but at the start, there won't be any backwards compatibility, so all your current games are kind of toast. You know, with the PlayStation 3 versus PS2, I mean, some of the games were backwards compatible, from what I understand, but not all of them. People are kind of getting used to that. The big concern I have is the price point. The price point is just, you know, can make or break a system. I think the PlayStation 3, when it came out, was $600. That's ridiculous. I mean, obviously, you know, the consoles, they cost a lot of money, and especially when they first come out and the technology and the platform is new, it takes a while to, you know, miniaturize and cost cut and shrink and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm hoping it ain't going to be $600 because, oh my God, that will sting. So, you know, it'll just see. Especially since I'm probably gonna have to end up buying both of the consoles this this Christmas. I hope it's cheap because I'm gonna cry otherwise. But that's more or less my thoughts. I am looking forward to the PlayStation 4. I'll be looking forward to seeing what Xbox comes out with to compete. The graphics look great. It looks like they're basically trying to make it more of a PC than a console with the sleeping options, the quick resume, the download features for the games is something that I've always thought needed to be on there since we are in the damn digital age. And the quick boot up times is going to be really nice. For people like me who just maybe play 1 or 2 games on the console, it's nice to just push a button and bam, you're in your game, as opposed to, pushing a button and then waiting and then waiting and then clicking and then waiting. It's like 2 minutes. It's kind of like back in the day in the 90s, or yeah, in the early 90s when we're on our 286s, and it takes 5 minutes for that bad boy to boot up while you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. So it'll be nice to see that disappear. One of the interesting things that I did see is it's going to have like a TiVo type function, sort of, where it's going to learn over time what your preferences are. And then based on your preferences, it will download games in advance. So like, let's say you play all the FPS games and then Call of Duty releases a new one. It will download Call of Duty before you purchase it. And then when you purchase it, it's like, surprise, I already had the game. So that's a little interesting. I don't know if I like games making decisions for me like that, especially since I'm going to be playing a lot of games that I might not necessarily have the money to buy. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Is it going to fill up your space, etc., etc. So let me know what you guys think about the console in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please click the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.